So I recently got back from a business trip, and this is what I came back to. Are you shoveling, buddy? Doing a little bit of shoveling? Isn't winter fun? Isn't it just so much fun? You having fun? What you got there?
The biggest icicle I could ever find.
You want to measure them?
A little bit of this one.
Oh, much better.
A little bit of this one fell off.
Buddy, you want your own icicle? All right, guys. No icicle wars. Got it?
I like eating them.
So, this snow really caught me off guard. I had no idea it was coming. And I checked the weather report quite regularly, but somehow I missed this one. So, as I've talked before, you guys know that sometimes my work requires me that I travel out of state and out of town. So I was in the down in Ohio, staying in a hotel, and next thing I know, I'm looking at the weather and I go, holy cow, there's like a snowstorm coming through and freezing cold temperatures. And there was nothing that I could do about it. But before I can show you the greenhouse, these guys, where you at back there? They really want to slide. So I'm gonna see if I can make this picnic table and all this snow into a slide for them. See how it goes. Sit down. No.
Too scary.
Too scared? It's alright, it's kind of scary. Alright. Alright, you guys ready? I'm gonna go there and see how things did. I already kind of know because I peeked in there, but you guys don't know, so it'll be a surprise for you. Are you ready? Here we go. Can't see anything. This angle. Alright, come on. Alright, come on. Come on in. Come on in. Look, 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 look. It's not that bad. It's kind of warm in here, actually. It's not too bad. Not too bad today. Today it's actually like 35, 37 degrees, something like that. So today's a good day. Last week was all awful. Or actually, I guess earlier this week when it was really, really cold in the teens and stuff. But, as expected, the tomato, the pepper, and over there, you kind of see it, the eggplants I had transplanted in here. Yeah, they all croaked. That kind of temperature is just way too cold for them. So, and I don't have a heat source in here. I don't even have a heat sink set up. And I have ideals for doing that. It was just something I was going to be working on this month. And my business trips out of town, they really take those times and that toll, so I didn't actually get to building the things I wanted to build to try to give this thing a little bit of heat. But I'm going to be working on that while I have some time to hopefully be able to trap some of this heat in here and get this a little bit warmer than it is right now. This thing is not like an official greenhouse as you would think. I guess it's technically more of a hoop house, but I like to refer to it as my greenhouse. I think it gets warm enough to where I can actually say it is a greenhouse. So I'm still organizing and getting things straightened out from planting all of our garlic. If you've been kind of following along, you know that I am starting a garlic farm. And to do that, I've had to do a lot of building of raised beds and just planning out how I'm going to go about all this and planting as much garlic as I can possibly plant. So it is early November and the snowstorm came through and dumped almost a foot of snow on us. Pretty crazy for this time of year. Not that we have snow, but that we had so much of it. And then on top of that, we had weather that was really cold. I mean, we were down in single digits for 3 nights in a row. Single digits. That's pretty cold for a November, even in Michigan. So being that I was away and out of town when the snow came through and this extreme cold, I really couldn't do anything to help my greenhouse out. And I kind of knew what was going to happen when I got back to open it up, what it was going to look like. It will get cold in here at night, especially at night. During the day, it's not too bad, but during the night, it gets cold. With being 6 degrees, I'm assuming that inside of here, the way it was going last year on all my tracking and experiments that I did, it was probably somewhere around 20, 25 degrees in here. But what we're going to check today is what actually survived and what did not survive, because it wasn't all bad. That's right. We actually had quite a few things survive the greenhouse in super cold temperatures. So I am very excited about what that means moving forward. I really wasn't expecting a ton of success in this greenhouse as far as a winter type growing. I didn't think it was going to be warm enough to actually grow things like the tomatoes and peppers, but the fact that they're in here made me excited. And I know I'll be able to start them a lot earlier than I did this year in here. And now that I have actual beds in here, which if you didn't check out the video where I built the hugelkultur, I'll put it up over there, the hugelkultur beds for in here. And part of that was that I want to get off a little bit of heat, even if it's a tiny bit of heat. If I do a few different heat systems all together, much like a hugelkultur bed, I got wood chips on the floor in here that will break down and they'll give off a little bit of heat. I want to set up a compost pile in the one corner, and then I also want to do a rain barrel in here, or a water barrel, a black water barrel. And then I'm thinking about doing a solar air heater. I'm thinking with all of those different things working together, that'll actually be able to keep this thing a little bit warm all hours of the day. So that's what I'm going to be working toward this winter, is trying to do some of these more natural systems as opposed to putting in some artificial heat source in here. I want to try to do as much natural things as I can that takes very little as far as maintenance and all that kind of stuff. So that's the goal. We will be working on that. I'll be doing videos as I do the different steps in that process. But the hugelkultur beds are in here now, so I can grow things in the real early spring. I was hoping to get something in the real late fall here, but this snowstorm was a little soon, and the cold snap just came a little harder than we normally would expect at this time of year. So it is what it is now. I can't do anything about it, right? But we're going to take a look and see what we do have in here, because there is some things that are growing, and that's super exciting. So let me turn you around and show you a couple of things that are still okay. So you can see right here, these radishes actually stayed very green, and a couple of them are looking pretty good. They got some new leaves coming in on them. So I got a couple that need to get thinned out, but the radishes that I tried to plant in here are still super green. That is awesome. We got a bunch of lettuce over here, and the lettuce is also very green still. So this is all very exciting stuff for me. I'm happy about having a lot of green stuff in here that still looks fairly healthy. There's a lot more lettuce over here just coming in, little stuff. Let's see over here. We got a lot of Swiss chard. You can see that big, good old clump of Swiss chard right there. Yeah, this is the colorful, the color lights one. So I got some over here. I got a few over here. So that looks really good to have that much Swiss chard still up through the ground. Over here we got some spinach. It's still green, still looking pretty good. Something that is really good in cold weather is kale. And as you can see here, I got quite a bit of it that sprouted that I planted. And it still looks really nice and green. So these are all very good benefits of this greenhouse, is that a lot of this cold weather green stuff is still looking really nice and healthy. What surprised me was that these peas over here actually sprouted and look somewhat okay. They don't look completely dead. So I don't know if they'll continue growing or not, or if this cold snap was enough to stop the growth on them altogether. But that's kind of exciting that peas have sprouted and done fairly well up to this point. I'm going to show you this dirt because this is what shocked me the most, is that I kind of thought this dirt would be a little bit frozen, but it's super, super loose. See the mycelium at work already, little mushrooms. But look at the soil. I can still dig into it pretty easy. It's a little cold, but it's not too bad. As far as it's still breaking up, it's still, I'm able to dig down pretty good. Some of this has got a little heavier clay from the stuff that I put back over top on the hugelkultur bed. But you can see I can get down there with just a hand and not needing a shovel. So seeing the soil still fairly loose like that in this freezing cold temperatures is really awesome. I'm really excited about that. That is a definite win in my book. So overall, even though we had this blistering cold snap, the greenhouse fared fairly well with it. 6 degrees outside, we still have some cold hardy greens that survived and look to be perfectly fine without any issues. So I'm really excited moving forward with this. I can't wait to see if we actually get them to a size where we can pick them and enjoy them, or if they're gonna just kind of wait until spring, real early spring, to really take off, maybe February or March. It's a waiting game, we shall see. But so far, the greenhouse has proven some dividends with the new hugelkultur beds in here. So I'm definitely thinking it was worth it. Perhaps if I would have started these crops a month earlier, they would be full grown already, and it'd be really, really good right now because I'd be able to come out here and pick, and everything would be a lot more green in here. So next year, I know now, make this little note to myself, try to get this planted out a little bit sooner. I got the big part out of the way. I already built the beds in here, so I actually have place to plant things, which was the biggest drawback before, is I had nowhere to plant anything. So now I do. I'm ready to go with that. And that's a little bit of the greenhouse update, guys. We'll see you in the next video.